Have you ever been working hard towards something, whether it be a job, a promotion, a special assignment, and found that you weren't moving forward, you were standing still? And not because you weren't intelligent, you weren't working hard, but some invisible force was preventing you from moving forward, from standing still. Some people think that standing still is harmless, neutral, safe. Well, standing still does come at a cost. And that cost is not paid equally by all of us. I am a track mom. Both my son and my daughter were track athletes in high school and in college. And imagine there's a starting line and there are two athletes. They have the same work ethic, same intelligence, same ambition, but one is standing on solid ground while the other is standing in quicksand. We watch from the outside, those of us on the outside in the stands, we look and we say, well, one's progressing further and another isn't. And we ask, well, why aren't they trying harder? But from the inside, it's the same effort, it's just different resistance. The first person to teach me that lesson was my father. He was the first principal and first teacher in Western Pennsylvania in the United States. He was intelligent, he was disciplined, and he was completely underestimated. I didn't have the language as a child to understand what he was going through. I just saw him trying to move forward in a system that was standing still. And at the time, wasn't really meant for him. I saw him working really, really hard to just be viewed as an equal. I saw him have all of these pressures, more pressures than any of his other colleagues. And for him, forward motion came with friction. One of the things that I did learn from him without a lecture was that obstacles are not always personal. Sometimes they're structural. And standing still in a structure, in a system that's also standing still, exacts a price. I said my children were track athletes. Well, I was a student athlete as well. And we all love a story about working hard, pushing through, resilience and grit. And don't get me wrong, effort is really, really important. But at some point along the way, motivation became an explanation for outcomes when sometimes it's about access. We see someone falling behind and we ask the question, well, why aren't they working harder? Why aren't they trying harder? When maybe the question we should be asking is, what are they pushing against? Momentum isn't just about moving harder or moving forward harder. It's about what's moving with us or against us. I said that momentum is sustained movement. And sustained movement requires certain conditions. How can we expect someone to keep moving forward when all of these invisible barriers and obstacles are getting in the way? When they have to work extremely hard just to try to move through. And this movement, it looks like neutral policies that don't take into account that people started from different starting places, different life experiences, different cultures. It looks like a one-size-fits-all pathway that truly is so narrow that it only fits a few people. It's about waiting for permission, waiting for resources, waiting for recognition. All the while, our potential is silently eroding away. Now, this is where equity comes in. We've heard all of the bad rhetoric around equity that we hear in the news and in the media, but equity is not preferential treatment of one person or one group over another. Equity actually works to remove resistance. In companies and in corporations, it's about not working so hard that you're just so trying to fit in, instead of just trying to be productive in the job that they hired you for. In education, it's recognizing that talent is everywhere, but opportunities are not. And in society, it's about all of this talent with millions and millions of people that goes unrealized. Equity doesn't slow momentum. Equity creates the conditions by which we can have momentum. I said that standing still does exact a price. For individuals, it's a loss of confidence. For companies and corporations, it's that loss of innovation and creativity. And for society, it's the loss of those potential. And you know, the sad thing about it is we normalize it. We normalize stalled careers. We normalize deferred dreams and potential. We say, wait, your time will come, just adjust, everything will be fine. But for those of us waiting, it's not passive. It comes at a very, very high cost. Now, I have a novel idea. What if we create systems that assume that everyone is capable, and we focus our attention on removing those things that are getting in the way? What if momentum wasn't something that you had to have through sheer exhaustion, but it emerged through collaboration and alignment? It's shifts like of clear and transparent pathways, equitable resources for everyone. And we're not talking about small gestures by one or two or three people. That's not going to cut it. We're talking about fundamental shifts by systems and moving them forward. That includes policies, practices, and procedures. Because it's the systems that determine who moves through them and who doesn't. I said my father was the first black teacher and principal in our area, in our region. He didn't consider himself a hero or a change maker. He was just one man who was trying to move forward in a system that was standing still. And I want to honor his legacy and those of my ancestors by always questioning and asking those hard questions about progress, by not confusing struggle with failure, and by not believing that momentum is a privilege. There is a cost of standing still, and that cost is too high for you, for me, for corporations, for universities, for society, for the future that we say we want. If we want momentum, real momentum, we can't just change people. We have to change systems. Thank you.